Do you feel more confident now than during your amenorrhea time? I'm scared that I won't feel confident after recovery. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Don't get me wrong, there are some down days. Don't get me wrong, there are times where I look in the mirror and think, hold up, didn't realise you look like that. But everyone does. Everyone has bad body image days. I feel like you'll probably remember times before you even committed to recovery, you would still have bad body image days. There will probably be times, even though you think that after recovery you're not going to feel confident, I bet there's been plenty of times where you haven't felt confident previously. Now, there is a few ways that I look at it. I think for a blanket answer, yes, hands down, 1000 billion%, I feel so much more confident in myself. Whether that is self-development, whether that is my hormones, whether that is my age, whether that is just like letting go of things that no longer serve me, doesn't matter, because what if it's all four? And I think in recovery there will be people out there that just do the physical stuff. So they're like, right, for this amount of time I'm going to eat loads of food and I'm going to not do any exercise, I'm going to get my period back, and then I'm going to go back to what I was doing. A lot of the time that's when you see people losing their periods again, or sort of like shifting their kind of like disordered eating into something else, whether like it's still maybe around training but they might do a different type of training or something like that, and they haven't actually worked on their self-worth. Then you have sort of like other side. Oh, this is like a disclaimer as well, I should probably say this, I'm talking on behalf of my experience when it comes to amenorrhea. So like I had amenorrhea because I was quite disordered with my food and I was chasing skinny. There are other people that had amenorrhea because they were an athlete or because they just died and they didn't actually have that much of an issue, they just didn't really realise. I had quite a bit of an issue when it came to sort of my self-worth. So anyway, I'm going off tangent. Confidence. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter, I would argue, why confidence has happened, whether that, all I know is yes, after recovery, I am a lot more confident in myself. Now, I feel like in my eyes, if you do recovery right, and obviously it's different for everyone, but in my eyes, it's like you do the physical stuff as well as you do like the inner work and the mental work. And I think if you're combining both of that, then there's no reason why you wouldn't be more confident. So if you look at like scientifically, you think if you aren't giving yourself the fuel that it needs, so it's in a deficit, and it's like thinking, oh fucking hell, I can barely like function, so it's having to like shut down its digestive system, it's having to shut down its reproductive system, your skin's shit, your hair's shit, what else have I said, your sex drive is no longer. You think all of that from like a physical standpoint, you're probably not going to feel that confident because your body is feeling pretty shit. Then if you think on that on like another side of things, so as part of like amenorrhea as well, you've probably got a bit of brain fog, so you can't really concentrate on things. You're probably pretty shit low in confidence in that sense because you can't actually get shit done and you can't make decisions. I was so indecisive. Then on top of that, you've probably got a few sleep problems, so you're not sleeping that great, so you're exhausted or you're constantly like jacked. So like I was reliant on coffee, I was waking up in the night, I was going for a wee like 5, 6, 7 times a night. I was struggling to get to sleep, but struggling to stay asleep. So I'd like jolt up, I'd be reliant on coffee, I'd be shaky. So all in all, I probably wasn't actually that confident in myself because I didn't know how much my energy levels, like when my energy levels would dip and when I was next going to crash and need another coffee or something like that. So you think in that sort of aspect as well, I'm probably not that confident. I was really indecisive because of the brain fog, so again, not that confident in sort of like making my own choices. My whole worth was based exactly on how I looked, and I wasn't happy with how I looked because I thought, okay, because I hadn't worked on the happiness anyway, if that makes sense. I'm thinking, right, I'll get to that size and I'm happy. I get to that size and I'm not happy, so I think, oh, I must get to a smaller size then, or I must chase this sort of like body type then, or I must try this diet then because then I'll be happy. So naturally I'm not actually that happy in myself. Plus then you add in like the brain fog, the exhaustion, the low energy and stuff like that, and and the low self-worth, and you look at your relationships and you think, oh my god, actually they're really shit, like I'm actually really horrible to be around, or you know, you're just not you haven't got high vibe, you're not attracting those kind of like right people that you want around you, or you're isolating yourself so you're not going out with friends and stuff like that, I think that can then lower your confidence. So if you think, if you don't have the brain fog and you're physically working better because your hormones are increasing, plus estrogen, that really helps with our confidence around ovulation. So if you're ovulating a bit better, you do tend to have more confidence, and that's obviously going to help our relationships. So then you have more confidence in your relationships. And then on top of that, if you're doing the inner work and like really working on your self-worth, you're like really looking into self-development. Like I'm a proper bookworm, probably maybe a bit obsessive with books now, but like self-development books, and then you're reading them, you're getting the knowledge and you're applying the knowledge so you become the person that you want to be. And with the physical stuff, because you're finally eating how you're meant to eat, you haven't got the brain fog and you've got better digestion, you've got the hormones, you're able to work on that stuff and you're actually able to take it in and you're able to go out with your friends, you're slowly starting to able to prove to yourself that actually like life is all right, like life is really good, because you've got the energy to be able to do it. Then if you're doing the inner work with all the stuff that you're learning and you're really learning about yourself and you're digging deep into like the reasons why you just hate yourself so much before recovery and why you're putting so much pressure on yourself to look a certain way, and your whole self-worth was based on how you look and you couldn't sort of see anything past that, then wait, I've completely lost tangent. But if you are actually doing the work, then you're naturally going to get more confident anyway, because you're applying the knowledge that you're learning. So there is literally no reason why you wouldn't be more confident if like post recovery, because you've got your hormones working for you, you're actually fueling yourself so you can actually get the things that you want to achieve. But then also on the other hand, you really make sure you're doing the inner work, so you're working on your self-worth, so it's not just based on how you look, and actually you're starting to see that you've got a lot more going for you than just how you look. Boom, mic drop. Bye, love you.